We are now moving into our showcase session where we will shine a spotlight on some of the most exciting developments in in-store retail media innovation. I'm pleased to welcome our next moderator, James Allison, Director of Market Development EMEA at Advertima. Welcome, James. Please introduce the fantastic lineup of speakers joining us today.
Thank you, Patricia, and good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it's a really exciting session that we've got coming up where we'll hear a showcase of innovation for in-store retail media from two leading retailers throughout Europe, both in completely different segments, so beauty and also consumer electronics. Before we get into those sessions, I'll do a brief introduction from myself, and then I want to provide a bit of context as to the opportunity for in-store retail media. And then we will kind of introduce each of the retailers one by one. And finally, we'll finish on some key questions that we've got prepared for those retailers. So first of all, I would like to talk about how, in my particular role, I have the pleasure of speaking to retailers throughout the whole of Europe, and seeing that each retailer is at a different pace in terms of in-store retail media development. But there is a common theme in that a huge drive on in-store retail media at the moment. I have a couple of slides, so we can go to the first one to kind of express effectively what we see in terms of how we look at it. Advertima is leading in-store retail media technology in terms of audience measurement and activation. And we've of course seen the huge success of online retail media, but actually that's only applied to less than 20% of the audience reach that retailers generate. And that we're talking about kind of the audience of the in-store. This particular stat does kind of apply to grocery retail. However, with the retailers that we're kind of speaking with today, both across consumer electronics and beauty, we find that it's a similar story. The presence is the majority of the sales are actually happening in store. To kind of build on that a little bit more, there's another slide here that I'd like to talk you through, kindly kind of provided by Daniel Knapp. So thank you, Daniel Knapp, for this. I think this kind of really shows the gap that we're looking at in terms of in-store retail media. So what we have is retail media as a share of gross merchandising value. So what we see, this is an example from a French retailer where 2% of the value of gross merchandising value is coming from retail media on the top bar. However, on the second bar here, we see that only 1.5% of the gross sales are from in-store retail are actually attributed from in-store retail media. This shows there's a huge gap here that we can bridge. And actually how we can close that gap is through technology, through data and measurement, and effectively driving that value for in-store retail media. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first showcase session. We're going to hear from Saskia and Tram, and we're going to hear how Douglas, as a leading beauty retailer in Europe, are actually kind of connecting in-store retail media with brands. Over to Douglas.
Amazing. Thank you, James, for the warm introduction first, and hi, everyone. So Saskia and Tram here in the room, and we'd like to talk about Douglas' current in-store retail media evolution from online-only placements to in-store placements, because at Douglas, we strongly believe that the future of retail media lies in creating a seamless, measurable, and brand-consistent experience across both digital and physical environments. And Tram, if you are sharing, right?
I am sharing. Can you see my screen? I'm not 100% sure if it worked, honestly.
Now it's working.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you can hear. We have as a hint, we have a small video coming up, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't able to click on optimization of the audio. So let's see how it goes.
Exactly. So let's dive right into it. Coming to the next slide. So entering, Tram, if you could just skip. Yeah, exactly. So When you enter a brick and mortar store, there is a variety of in-store formats, from digital screens to like smart shelves to floor graphics. So the store itself is a media channel already. But we at Retail Media have traditionally focused on digital placements. But as we all know, also from our personal shopping experience, I assume, customers' behavior is evolving. So shopping journeys are no longer purely online nor offline. So they are indeed interconnected, and we decided to then also go in store and utilize our digital screen network that already exists and is used by our trade marketing teams to then turn our screens into omni-channel stages. Because they combine high visibility, brand storytelling, and measurable impact in the end. To be super honest, we are still quite at the beginning of this whole journey. So we launched our pilot phase just earlier this year in Germany only. So far, we are covering 70 stores right now, which are not all stores in Germany, just a part of it. And we are running a network right now of over 100 digital screens within the pilot. It runs until June, July, and it's simply helping us to learn, test, and refine in terms of how the operations are going, and also when it comes, for example, to KPI reporting standards. But before we are diving into our pilot, we would like to tackle the question, so why we're doing it? So first of all, stores remain a powerful discovery engine for us. So in fact, physical stores are still the #1 touch point for new beauty product discovery, far ahead of online-only platforms like, for example, social media. And this makes, for us, perfect sense, since it is difficult to test and try beauty products online. In that extent, you can do it offline. So, for example, smelling a fragrance is a picture-perfect example for it, because it's kind of tricky to do it online. So you need to go into the store. And on the other hand side, although the market indicates a shift in media investments, so when it comes to traditional media budgets, especially coming from linear TV, they're increasingly moving into retail media channels. And as a pendant, let's say it like this, online video, but also in-store video makes perfect sense to shift them to. So, this being said, with our new in-store initiative, we are now expanding into the upper funnel using digital screens to boost awareness directly at the point of experience, tryout, and in the end sales. And this creates the missing piece in a fully connected media journey, like from inspiration at the beginning to conversion in the end, and this in one ecosystem. And this is also why we have bundled our 2 video ad formats for the pilot case. So we have digital screens and online video ads now come together in our offering, allowing brands to tell their story both in store and online. And this is then what we call omni-channel video, like the next level of connected storytelling for retail media. And how this looks like in store, we'd like to show you with the little video Tram just spoiled, and I hope it works. We don't have any sound. So sadly no sound, but I hope you just imagine a very engaging and powerful music behind it, and just gave you a glimpse on how our solution currently looks like, but then hand over to Tram, who does a deep dive.
Thank you very much, Saskia. So moving forward, after seeing only a sneak peek of our digital screens image video, I would like to give you a deep dive into our current running pilot. So as you can see here, our digital screens offering currently involves 2 touch points that we share with trade and global marketing. On the one hand, we have our vibrant outward-facing window screens visible at the entrance of our Douglas stores and are designed to create curiosity and capture the attention of passerby traffic. The awareness effect is massive as our stores are always located in a premium area. On the other hand, we have large in-store purchase walls behind the cash registry, nudging the beauty-affine audience towards discovery and the right product. So here, really, every screen serves a purpose, from first inspiration to final conversion. But how do we actually sell the screen network to our clients? As Saskia said, we decided for an omni-channel sales pitch by connecting this new video in-store touchpoint with our on-site portfolio, allowing the client to book an omni-channel campaign to create a seamless user experience. This ensures an awareness boost and driving store traffic while using online placements like our newly launched video audience ad format. With this bundling approach, the client can reach the target audience throughout their shopping journey at the right time. And we really see that it works. So videos are a super powerful format that people interact with. As an additional insight, the special thing about our pilot is that it is conducted on already existing hardware, allowing us to test with zero CapEx invest. And now, last but not least, we want to give you a glimpse of what's on our roadmap for the future. So first, we aim to scale up by rolling out successively in Netherlands and Italy, followed also by France, to harmonize the product across our core countries. Additionally, we plan to create a sustainable endemic digital screen ecosystem with streamlined processes and a professional reporting setup that also goes hand in hand with the IAB standards. And ultimately, we are working to open our network to the programmatic world to also unlock further revenue and making sure that we target different budgets compared to trade marketing. Because this, in the end, is really crucial to not just shift money from the right pocket to the left, but rather ensuring incremental revenue. With that being said, the future of retail media is already within the store, and it's now up to us at Douglas to bring it back to life. Thank you very much, and back to you, James.
Thank you, Tram and Saskia. That was kind of excellent to see. I've personally worked myself with Boots in the UK in a previous role, so it's interesting to see how you at Douglas are kind of accelerating in-store retail media. I think beauty brands, in particular premium beauty, kind of can take great advantage of in-store retail media and actually the omni-channel journey which you talked about. So excellent to see. We'll now go on to introduce Till, who leads product and data at MediaMarktSaturn, and we'll see how across 1,100 stores across the network, how Till and his team are building out the significant in-store retail media proposition. It's a huge job that he has on his hands, so it'd be excellent to hear about how they're doing that at MediaMarktSaturn. Thank you, Till.
Yeah, I'm just realizing that I cannot share my screen due to Zoom. I'll have to quit Zoom and rejoin. Can you bridge 2 minutes?
For sure.
Sorry about that.
I might have a question. So yeah, whilst we wait from Till, there is a question for Saskia, how Douglas are joining the measurement dots between those who see video in store and then also online, and the impact both have versus one. So is that something that's currently being looked at Douglas, and how are you doing that?
Yeah, it's currently being looked at, but we don't have a solution right now in place so far, because I mean, this is like the cherry on the cake, you know, like combining all the different data points and different touch points to, in the end, one seamless journey. So we are looking at it, but don't have a solution for it right now. But still, we are thinking that it's a big advantage to have this being sold and also running as an omni-channel solution, to like just streamline the storytelling in store, but also online in general.
And actually, to lean on that kind of sorry to kind of go into that further, Saskia, just before we reintroduce Till, you talk about kind of being able to plan and book omni-channel campaigns. Is that through a self-serve platform then that you offer to the brands directly or to the agencies? How do you do that?
So we do have a self-service platform in place. It serves our on-site only solutions right now. So currently we are not looking into also bringing digital screens into our self-service platform. We are more looking into offering it in a programmatic way, hopefully launching this year. So yes, we have a self-service place, and maybe there are ambitions in some months or years to also bring digital screens onto it. But to be super honest, we are not there yet.
Thanks again.
Sure.
Till, how are we doing? We good to go?
Well, can you see my screen?
We can.
All right. So, and we'll see if it plays audio later during the video that I have. But anyway, yes, thank you for having me, and sorry for this interruption. I hadn't used Zoom on this machine before. So anyway, yeah, I'm heading up the retail media product and data team for MediaMarktSaturn, and want to give you a little introduction of our store ads solution. So yeah, I'm sure you've all heard about MediaMarktSaturn, maybe even in the last couple of days, as our CEO will become the new Secretary of Digitalization in Germany. So quite exciting news for everyone. If you haven't heard about us so far, we are the largest consumer electronics retailer in Europe. We're active in 11 countries. We're in Germany, in the DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. We're in Benelux, Italy, Spain, Poland, Hungary, and Turkey. Naturally, I mean, we have more than 1,000 stores throughout Europe. And being a consumer electronics retailer, we have over 45 million monthly visitors, and we have approximately 670 million ad opportunities every month, because, as you all know, we have lots of screens in MediaMarktSaturn. So, and I think our journey probably has been a bit different to what Douglas has, because this is, for us, again, historically, in-store has been a channel and something where I'll tell you where we're coming from, our first approach that we had to in-store advertising. And that was more grown sort of over the years. The initial step was to just enable advertisers to use the screens that we have that were in the store anyway for advertising. But it was a very heterogeneous approach. We had every country was doing their own thing. We had, the countries building this up with different hardware. Everyone was very much focused on only co-branded advertisements, and inventory was sold in bulk, in bundles, with no real reporting. That obviously had a lot of downsides. So yes, it was a very rudimentary system with room for improvement. We had really no central booking system. We ourselves didn't really understand the value of our inventory, the way that we're selling it and using it. The advertisers did not know what they're really buying and what they were getting, and were very restricted with the content that they have. And yeah, the overall process was very time-consuming and not very scalable. So this is the past. And over the last few years, as retail media has becoming a thing, it's been taken over. We needed to evolve and really evolve into a new and future-ready system. And I think this is also one of the learnings with what we knew before. What is our current approach for in-store advertising? Today, I think our offer has matured into a much more streamlined and transparent solution that is built out to scale and offer a consistent experience of advertiser experience across MediaMarkt, all the markets, all the countries. We've moved from a fragmented system to really having a unified, standardized product. So no more local exceptions, almost, we're working on that. No more confusion. But the important thing is we now have centralized operations with a homogenized tech setup. So that we have the same CMS, the same hardware infrastructure, which just allows us to roll out campaigns in a much smoother fashion and to have more control over the customer user experience. We also, beyond that, giving more freedom to advertisers over their creatives and the experience that they want to present. And most important, from my perspective, most importantly, we are selling our inventory really based on ad plays and on a fixed CPM to have proper measurement. We have reportings, and we've also opened up to non-endemics. And how do advertisers benefit from that? So we didn't just obviously optimize the internal operations. We made sure that everything that we're doing was directly benefiting advertisers in terms of measurable strategic ways. I think the most important point here is that we wanted and needed to make the product compatible with media plans. So that it really works from a media planning perspective, and it's compatible also with other products in the market. So it becomes more scalable. So that advertisers can integrate in-store just like other channels, and they don't need to sort of work around us in specific ways. Then we need to be aligned with market standard KPIs. So we speak the same language as media planners in terms of reach, impressions, CPM, and so on. And also this whole standardization is very important. So also the close collaboration with the IAB on the in-store standards. And I think this will really help all retailers just to make sure that we're all speaking the same language and will add credibility and consistency for all stakeholders involved. And then for us, something that we did, we introduced a strict loop regulation that we tightly control, and we have clear ad rotations to guarantee advertisers the exposure that they'll get. Yeah, in short, we've not just improved technically, but we've really moved this into an advertiser-first media plan compatible product. What is the loop? So what I've said before, in the old system, advertisers could just send us whatever they had, and we would just play it, and we just have ads running throughout the day. But with becoming more of a media focus, this is the setup that we went for. We defined a fixed loop that is running on the screens, and that loop has a fixed length of 10 minutes. So we have 6 loops per hour, and we also have standardized slot durations. So we have available spot length of 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 seconds that we can also add specific pricing to. And this then obviously brings benefits in the terms that every advertiser knows what they can buy and how often the ad will run. And it keeps the screen time sort of in a clear perspective. So we've also divided the loop up between different departments or different stakeholders within our system to make sure that everyone has like a defined inventory that they can work with. Where do we go from here? What are we working on? What are we aiming to launch throughout this year? We've aligned everything that we're rolling out with 3 core premises. One, as I just said, the IAB according or supporting the new IAB standards for in-store for store divisions is something that we're driving, and driving clear opportunity to see likelihood to see values for consistent planning. And what's also very important for us is supporting the ROPO measurement and impact. What this will include, we'll launch new reporting functionalities in terms of social demographics and sales uplift. So reporting is very important to us. We're working on programmatic enablement and also a full device approach. Today, we are mostly running on the TV screens that we have in the store. We have, I think, close to 50,000 TV screens. But there are a lot more different types of screens that we have. We have laptops, we have mobile phones, we have promotional screens, we have cash registers. So making all these devices available for targeting, and then also launching new screens like digital out of home. Last but not least, I also have a video to share. Let's see if this plays. I don't know if you're getting the audio. And I hope I'm audible over the audio. So this is actually our flagship store in Hamburg, which is the largest consumer electronics store in Germany or Europe. And what we've done here is we've demoed to Meta how we can actually help the brand to feature themselves in the store across all the different screens that we have. So not only the TV screens, but all the other screens that are available to really help a brand create an audience and showcase their brand and promote themselves, yes, to all the consumers. So I think with that, we really have a unique position to just create experience in a different way and help brands to really, get out there in front of the customers and leverage that in-store experience for the future. So I think that is it from my side. Thank you for the opportunity, James, and back to you.
Thank you, Till. I'd have to ask you afterwards how you superimpose yourself on your presentation, because I think that's a pretty cool feature. But we are running out of time. So what I will do is we've got maybe 1 or 2 questions that we can ask both the retailers, which I think are quite important for the industry here. So first one being, what challenges still need to be addressed as an industry to scale the in-store opportunity? We'll keep on with Till and then go over to Douglas on that question.
So for me, it's an important part is that the having a clear commercial model when it comes to the what I said, just this kind of having clear KPIs and talking the media language, and then for us, we also really focus a lot on that ROPO experience from a retail media perspective. Retail media perspective is very much, as you sort of said in your opening statement, driven by the online experience. But we feel that this is really a differentiator when we really need to help that in-store part to grow. So really focusing on the entire view.
Thank you, Till. And over to Saskia or Tram from Douglas.
Yeah. So I can underline just what Till also said. I think standardization is needed in a bigger extent to just streamline the product across the media market. And I think in essence, we need to treat it like media. Like, for example, not as a trade marketing product. So in-store media must be bought, planned, and measured like any digital media channel. And that means we need clear KPIs. It needs to be in a targeted way somehow. We need flexible bookings. And yeah, just build a media product that not looks like trade marketing, but build a media product that actually competes with YouTube, Instagram, and display, I would say.
Thank you very much. To wrap it up, I'll kind of do a quick fire round just on from each Till and Douglas. What is the kind of one big thing that you want to achieve this year in terms of in-store retail media?
Programmatic buying.
Same. No, I think this for us also, I said we are on this journey of harmonization of our tech, and for us also programmatic will be the next big step. But I also think making steps into really the in-store measurement, really separating stores into the different sections and then having proper reporting on that and supporting a more differentiated view of the audiences.
Thank you, everyone. Back over to Patricia, and yeah, brilliant session.
Thank you so much, James,
Thank you.
and thank you to all three of us for the great presentations.